no holding back, no stepping stones, no broken promises, no busy tones. Just what it takes, just make believe. No one belongs to anything.
Good morning, everybody. We had to put the music on to drown out Morrissey. I mean, I like the Smiths and all, but Morrissey's solo is just god-awful sometimes.
I don't know, appropriate for a Monday.
I guess so. I don't love me.
Yeah.
I'm weird and
That sounds exactly like
neurotic.
Monday.
He once canceled a concert because it was 69 degrees outside. It was too cold for him.
Oh, to be famous.
He's that kind of diva. Welcome to the Peterson Health Digital Studio at Pine Plow Brewing Company. This is The Lead Live. I'm Louis Amestoy. It's July 17th, 2023. It's going to be hotter than hell today.
Woohoo!
But you're going to have to get over it, folks. So, Leslie Jones is here. Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm going to complain about the heat.
That's okay. You can do it. You can do it.
It is hot. I'm tired.
We are in.
It's only July.
It'll be day 8 of 100 degrees. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But first, don't forget that for all your service needs, make an appointment today at Ken Stubble Ford to go to Quick Lane at 830-257-5557. They are our good friends, and they will take care of your vehicle. And the lead is brought to you by Pine Plow.
That place.
That place, Pine Plow. Ken Stubble Ford, Fitch Estate Sales, and our good friends over at Gibson's General Store, Discount Center, Wild Birds Unlimited. The Hill Country Podcast, Texas Hill Country Advisors, they're in the house. Kerrville Pets Alive, I saw them on Saturday. The Kerrville Convention and Visitors Bureau, I did a lot of CVB things. Arcadia
You
Live, Killdeer Mountain Manufacturing, they're hiring. K-Pub, Safe, Reliable, and Yours, they're hiring too. And Like a Good Neighbor, State Farm is there. Also, thanks to Napa Auto Parts across the street. And I bought my thing the other day. I bought my tumbler.
Nice.
Yes.
I need to do that. Are they still doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I need to get one too.
Yes. Also, thanks to what's the name of Kerr County Abstract and Title Company.
Oh, that place.
That place. You know that place.
Yeah.
You know the place I'm talking about. Oh, look at this crew today. Look at these people we have on the show.
Yeah.
Gilbert
We
over
have
there
a
on the right.
full table.
We have Andrew Gay. We have Karen Taylor, and we have Leslie Jones. And then on the phone, or actually live video, we have the great and powerful Wende Jones. Wende, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Karen Taylor's here from the Chamber of Commerce in West Kerr.
I know Karen. Hey.
I was say, your chamber over there in West Kerr County.
Exactly. Yeah, we were playing. They were playing. Aubrey was playing Morrissey this morning. But like I said, I like the Smiths, but once he got out of the Smiths, he was just a pain in the ass. And so, anyway, that was sort of one of those whiny things he was singing about. Good morning again. Sorry, just had to get into it. Here's the good news for you this morning to start off the show. Just got an email from the Alzheimer's Association of. This is the American Alzheimer's Institute, I believe it is. Let me look at this, make sure. It's the Alzheimer's Association, the Capital of Texas chapter. They sent out a press release that said that they would actually do one of the first ever studies of county by county numbers.
Oh, wow.
And that included Texas. And Kerr County right now, a percent of people age 65 and older, 10.1 to 12% is where we land as a county. And that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does that stack up with the other counties?
Well, so I mean, depending, because I don't have the full thing.
Oh, okay.
But down in the valley area, everything south of us, pretty high instances, 14 to 16%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The nationally, they have the rankings here. El Paso County in Texas, El Paso County, Texas was the highest in the state at 15%. It's in the top 10 nationally. But Miami-Dade County, Baltimore, and the Bronx are all the national leaders in this area. And then followed by Prince George's County, Maryland, Hinds County, Mississippi, Orleans Parish, Louisiana, Daughtry County, Georgia, Orangeburg County, South Carolina, and Imperial County, California. It's interesting about that is a lot of those areas are Miami-Dade necessarily not, but high instances of Hispanic population as well.
I was wondering that,
So,
what the correlation was.
Age is well established as a primary risk factor for Alzheimer's, according to the Alzheimer's Association's 2023 Alzheimer's Disease and Facts and Figures. Older Black Americans are about twice as likely to have Alzheimer's or other dementias as older whites, and older Hispanics are about 1.5 times as likely to have Alzheimer's or other dementias as older whites as well. So, ethnically or racially, it's very, there's some disparities there as well. So, very interesting report. We'll have more on that in the Leads newsletter probably tomorrow. Also, we dug into today the fact that we're having budget talks today. Yay!
It's nonprofit's favorite time of year. Especially if your budget year starts in October.
Yours is on Wednesday, huh?
Ours is on Wednesday.
I'm skipping it, actually. I have to go pick up the
it's going to be a real shindig. Sorry, you're going to miss it.
Here's the interesting thing about what's happened, though, is that the legislature passed property tax relief, which most people are going like, yeah, right? Here's the deal, though. To do it, you're going to get a homestead exemption. And then Gilbert and Andrew can correct me if I'm wrong on this, or anybody who has an eye for math. But here's the way I read it. So currently now, if you have a homestead, you get $40,000 to kind of exempt yourself from, right? That's going to go to $100,000. So if you have a homestead, next year you can say when you do your taxes that you're gonna be able to write off $100,000 on your property taxes.
I'm excited about that.
Right. So there you go. Right. But here's the catch: that $60,000 budget or gap covers maintenance and operations for most of our school districts across the state. So the state has the wise idea of saying, you know what, we have $32 billion in reserve that we've been sitting on because we hoard all the we hoard all the sales tax from vehicles, and so we're going to take $12 billion and we're going to give it back to the schools this year, right? But that's all you get. You're getting basically the gap covered, but you don't get any right as it stands right now. Now there'll probably be another special session of the legislature. As it stands right now, you get that for 1 year and 1 year only. So it could have a devastating impact on our schools, and here's the thing on that, right? Too, it almost feels like part of the plan for the Republicans in some ways, because remember they also have vouchers coming too, and in September they're going to release these rankings, right? So Ingram School District is an A rating, and KISD is as a B rating. Those ratings will fall dramatically, most likely, in September. And the narrative will be, well, look at our public schools are failing, and so even though you've starved them of raises and maintenance and operation funds, you'll be able to give away vouchers to private companies to run schools, which sounds like a really wonderful idea to me. So there you go. So that's today. How this actually impacts the cities and the counties, I don't know at this point, but I've said it all along before, is that, look, Texas, I saw this thing the other day, Texas loves to brag about how they don't have any personal income tax. That's great. But the reality of it is that you got to pay for stuff somehow, and there's a push to remove property taxes. But there's no real great solution on the back end of that to make up that gap. So I don't know how they're going to resolve this issue.
Sales tax is what they're going to do.
They're going to jack up the sales tax.
Yes.
Sales tax or state income tax. It's like, because we've talked about Social Security on here too. It's like when you need to make an adjustment like that mathematically, there's only a set number of options that you have. There's
only three real options in terms of taxes.
Right. Income
tax, a consumption tax or sales tax, and property taxes. Right. I mean, it's the only three ways that the state primarily generates revenues, other than from fees and what have you. But those are the three ways. And of course, there's no way in hell they're ever going to consider a property or a income tax.
Yeah. Right.
So if they're
That's
cutting,
bad PR.
Yeah, bad
PR.
for
Texas branding.
It's the thing that they've used. They beat over every other state over the head about. Oh, we don't have a property income tax. So if they're cutting property taxes, the only other choice is sales taxes, a consumption tax. Now, is a consumption tax more fair than an income tax? I don't know. I mean, some ways it is, some ways it isn't. But instead of everybody paying 8.25%, it's going to go up to 20%.
Yeah.
Now that number might be a little high, but it's not going to be 8.25% anymore. It'll have to be something else.
It'll have to make up the difference, because you've got major. I mean, you're talking about, if you take out property taxes and you're talking about defunding police, you're talking about defending, a lot of these essential services that we have, and property taxes are the one sort of, okay, we're safe here revenue-wise. It helps determine, but sales taxes are, kind of hit and miss at times.
Sure.
Well, and then you're talking about the property taxes for schools. What the state of Texas is trying to do, if you're not paying attention, they're really not interested in property taxes. What they're interested in is school choice.
Yeah.
And the public school sector has to understand that you have got people in charge right now that are really wanting to change the way public education is done here in the state of Texas.
Right.
And the best way for them to do that is to illustrate in a wide way that public schools are failing, and school choice is the only option to save this thing. And now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I think it's fair to say that the public schools have got to figure out a way to do things a little differently.
Yeah.
Because if you keep doing what you're doing and you're getting the same result, it's just not working.
See, my advice on that one too, and I've said this before, and in all fairness, I wear a hat, also on this side too with Ingram, but you got to get ahead of it. You got to get ahead of the messaging on it, and that's where it gets into this. And like I was talking about this a little bit today. Kerrville's going into budgeting tomorrow. And, they're going to talk about water. And they often get caught flat-footed on messaging about water because there's people out there, your water doesn't do this and you don't do that and it's failing, and it's all this water is poisoned. And, they have to kind of slowly respond to these things. But now you can get ahead of it a little bit. Like the school districts know that this is coming. And,
and school districts also have to understand that, listen, you have been doing things a certain way for a really long time, and it doesn't sit well with a lot of people anymore. You've got these palaces of education. Like I'm for example, Hal Peterson Middle School, the new one, beautiful campus. They have gone out of their way to do everything right there, but that building stays empty for quite a bit of time.
Yep.
The school districts need to understand. Hey, listen, if you use that building in a different way besides just for public education for kids, maybe you'd get more community support.
Yeah.
Maybe if you didn't spend $90 million on that campus and spent maybe 70 and put the other 20 into educating kids differently, maybe you'd have a little different support. But, that kind of just confuses the issue. Schools just have to know that they've got to give parents different choices, different options, and kids, they learn differently now.
I'm just looking for this today when they spend all their money on full body armor for every child that goes into schools now.
Wasn't what part of the reason why also the expense of building a new school is like for safety?
Oh, for sure.
Safety
For
measures
sure. There's
that go
a
into
lot
that
of
because of where we're at with
a lot of
shootings
things that go into it.
and school violence.
Listen, we have a lot to talk about on the show today. It's a good day to talk about these things. But first off, we need to get righted with ourselves. We need to have our morning warm up with the one and only, and she's here, Wendy Jones, over at the Fresh and Fit. How are you this morning, Wendy?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Good. Like I said, the morning warm up because we've already raised our blood pressure up. And
Talking
we do
about
some breath work?
defunding public education.
And Gilbert and I have been comparing.
Being in meditation.
We've been
this
comparing
morning.
CPAP machines too. Like, well, my machine does this, your machine does that.
Mine's bigger than yours.
Mine's bigger than yours. So what do you
CPAP
got?
machine I'm talking about.
What do you got going on?
So I just think ever since I've been doing this in the mornings, it makes me just pay a little more attention to what people are saying around me and like what I feel like people need to learn or want to know more about. And so I was thinking about it a lot this weekend that like the stages of behavior change, like if you're trying to lose weight or get healthy or eat better, it's literally a behavior change you're trying to make, which is not easy. I mean, it's like trying to quit smoking or you have to go through an actual behavior change to make something a lifestyle. And so I was going to bring y'all today 3 tips on how to be more successful in making a behavior change, no matter what it is. If it's, getting or losing weight or trying to eat better or feel better or get over a health issue or whatever. If you will go through these 3 stages, it will help you be more successful instead of just kind of flying by the seat of your pants and just, today I'm going to start working out. But if you'll go through these actual stages, first one being frustration, second one being bravery, and third one being discipline. So first frustration. You have to get to the point with yourself where you're like, I am not doing this anymore. No more, no more. I'm not going to feel like this, or I'm not going to look like this. I'm not doing this anymore. You have to get completely frustrated with it. And then the second one, bravery, is where bravery or courage. I really like the word courage. Like you have to demand of yourself that you're just going to do better starting today. I'm just going to have
what's
the
bravery
courage
for
to
me,
do
Wendy?
whatever it takes.
Bravery for me is going down the ice cream aisle.
See, this is why y'all need my help.
I know. Okay, continue on. I'm sorry.
Just maybe like, okay, I'm just going to call Wendy today. I'm going to schedule a consultation and sit down and talk with her and make a plan. I mean, that takes courage.
Yeah, Wendy
for
can
most
be
people.
your emergency.
Right.
I'm going down the ice cream aisle.
Yeah.
Contact.
See, I should not be allowed to go in the grocery
Call
store.
me, I'll talk you down.
Yeah, I should not be allowed to go to the grocery store unattended or hungry.
I don't know. That could be a
Most
fun show in
people
itself.
shouldn't.
What did Lewis buy today at the grocery store?
Yeah, right.
That
Yeah.
would be a nice segment.
Fritos, Oreos,
Yeah.
saturated fat.
Sorry, Wendy. What was the third thing?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
I'm
Wendy.
waiting.
Man. Okay, so you get the bravery, you get the courage to make the whatever the change is, and then the third one is discipline, and this is just where you have to actually put in the work, and that's where I come in for most people, or my trainers here come in for most people, is the discipline part, because most people aren't disciplined on their own. They have to have the
Yeah, your
appointment, where
accountability.
they have to show up, the accountability, and that's where we really help people the most. But I'm telling y'all, if people will just go through these stages and let yourself learn. There's just a lot of psychology behind behavior change.
And I
but
think
if
it's
you just will
reframing
go
it.
through these, you go through these steps, your chances of actually adhering to the behavior change are much higher. There's a much better chance you're going to be successful if you just go through the right stages. And if you do this, your entire life will change. No doubt about it.
Right. As always, these are the kind of things that we need to hear in the morning.
That's true.
To reset the day and get us going on this as well. If we want to visit Fresh and Fit, where do we go? How do we find you? I promise that sometime this week we'll have the whole thing, so I won't have to ask this question, but graphically. But where do we find you?
I'm glad you asked it, because we are a little bit hard to find, but we're on Blue Ridge. We're kind of in that dead zone between Kerrville and Ingram. You turn in by the big Mr. W fireworks place, and then you take an immediate left into the commercial park there. And I'm in the middle building. We have signs up. Once you get to Blue Ridge, we're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, you can. It's pretty easy to see. One, you have the George Strait truck usually parked there.
Yes.
Two, you sound like a quarter panel, like with his.
That just says the George Strait.
The
truck.
George Strait truck. And,
Yeah, I'm working on getting a personalized license plate.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then you'll see the banners and everything else that's there. So go on in there, have a visit, and you have a good time as well. So.
Right, and y'all talked about Alzheimer's. I want to say really quick, if you're at risk for Alzheimer's, or that's something that you worry about or you're dealing with, please call me and let me talk to you about the oxygen chamber.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was my reason for buying it, is to help people with Alzheimer's.
Absolutely. Great stuff as always.
That
Thank
was
you.
great.
Thank you very much, Wendy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You're welcome.
All right. See you
Okay,
later.
y'all have a great day.
Bye,
All right.
Wendy.
Bye, Wendy.
Bye.
This is an incredible number, by the way. There's at least 80 stuff and things going on this week.
There's a lot of stuff and things going on.
I mean, it's incredible. I don't know.
Especially because we're like in the middle of July.
Yeah, I don't think we have time for all 80. Maybe you can give us like a high level.
I'll give you a
high
highlight
level
reel.
highlight reel.
I
We got
imagine a lot of it's live music.
live music all over the place. As
But
you were
yes,
saying.
we have a full week of stuff and things. Safety Town is today.
Oh, very
it's already
good.
started at 9 today over at the Doyles. So if
I probably should run over there and get a
maybe,
photo.
yeah, well, you have until 11, so you can. This will be going on all week. So if you want to get involved with Safety Town, it's at the Doyle. Get in contact with Jack Lamb with KPD or with the Doyle Center. Get your child involved. That sounds like it's a great opportunity to learn, get your kids educated on safety and just all the things that's going on in the world. Kind of like know what to do when they're out there. Fossils, Clues to the Past going on at Riverside Nature Center all this week as well. KCC has their exhibits going on, which oil paintings of today's Cowgirls by Charlotte Wyatt, Images, which is a KCC judge membership show, and then Hometown Crafts Teacher Show. This is an exhibit featuring works of local teachers, and they had their awards this past weekend.
They did. There's a photo gallery of it up on the deal. So there you go.
But you can go check out those works. That is free over at Core Arts and Cultural Center all this week. Billy Shink Over at Museum of Western Art, Mystic Visions of the West show and exhibits in full swing over there. They had their meet and greet event this Saturday, and they also did like a live podcast where you got to meet Billy. But anyway, you can see his works. It's beautiful, and it's just a whole new take on Western art over there. Very nominal fee to get in, well worth it.
Now let me warn you.
There's some nudity.
There's some nudity, and if you're one of the library people who doesn't like that kind of stuff, then you probably shouldn't go look at it. Avert your eyes.
Yeah.
Never mind
save your admission fee, because there are boobies in there.
Yeah.
Never mind the Indian with the other Indians head statue sitting out front.
Right.
But, okay.
There's some others. Yeah. Right. There's that one too.
Some people are okay with violence, Andrew.
Yes.
Just not nudity.
Just not boobies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, they're for violence. They want to have. You know, it's okay. It's all right.
All right, back on track. This is a nice segue into toddler time over at the Ridge Marketplace.
I didn't have the courage to ask the artist though, but I so definitely wanted to ask him, like, which Penthouse Pet is this magazine? Is this from? This your artist there?
That's an interview for next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
I bet you he'd tell me too.
I bet he would.
Yeah.
So again, toddler time over at the Ridge Marketplace is tomorrow from 10 to 11, where you can let your toddler loose on the lower lawn. They keep them all wrangled in, but there'll be educational toys, music, and sensory bins for them to enjoy. So that's going on over there. You have a Ned Talk also tomorrow at Riverside Nature Center from 1 to 2, and they're doing it's a reading and a book signing on Wingbeat Atlas. Let's see. It's a celebration of our citizens in the air, and this is by Lucy Griffith. So if you want to get involved with that, all our birder friends, that's the Ned Talk going on tomorrow at Riverside Nature Center. And Nature Nights tomorrow evening back at Riverside Nature Center is they're doing bat evolution, behavior, and ecology.
Yes.
So timely, as we are full into bat migration season, where they're coming out. Let's see, as we get into the rest of the week, of course, you have Kerr County Produce Market Day on Wednesday, as well as Friends of the Library book sale. There's a lot of stuff going on Wednesday. The second annual Back to School Give Back going on by the Downtown Business Alliance. So they're putting supplies in backpacks, and they're also giving free haircuts and food for kiddos. This is going on over at the Eyes on Me Advanced Barber School in downtown Kerrville. So they're planning to give 500 free backpacks with supplies plus free haircuts to food and kids and food for kids. So this sounds like a good. If you're in need, go check out downtown Kerrville. Wednesday with Woodrow, also at Cafe the Ridge for your kiddo, 10:15 to 11. They do a really fun activity for them to get involved with. You have the Vintage Summer Market Days opening up on Thursday for the weekend over at the Hill Country Youth Event Center. Get your tickets for that. That should be a great shopping experience. And this is fun. At Off Main, they're doing Disney trivia.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like
Have a beer. Let's talk about Mickey Mouse.
That sounds like a great time, personally, for me. So this is calling all Disney nerds, geeks, and geek out on Disney knowledge. So that's going on Thursday from 6 p.m. And then if that's maybe Disney trivia is not your thing, over just right next door, just a couple stores down, Arcadia Live is doing Thirsty Thursday trivia. So if you kind of want a broader scope on your trivia knowledge,
you got it.
Check out all there. That starts at 6:30. Get a team of 6 together to get involved in that. A ton of live music. We'll tell you where to find it because that's a lot of this. Slade Cleaves playing at Arcadia Live. That's a big one of note. That will be on Friday night, 8 to 9:30. Get your tickets for that. Second weekend of the last roundup of the Guacamole Queens. I think this is the final weekend.
I think it's 3 weekends.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
3 weekends.
Okay, I apologize.
You win.
Because I thought she said they only had one more chance to see it when I was at the show, so maybe I misheard.
Yeah.
But I did go see it on Saturday. Beautiful show. Delightful. I laughed a lot. Highly recommend. The whole cast did amazing.
What was the name of the villain in the thing that Fluffy plays?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
Fluffy is a great villain. So tickets for that 8:30. That's in the outdoor theater at the Point Theater. So get your tickets. Well worth it. I actually saw it with a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah. They were laughing.
And they. Not as loud as me.
Well, nobody laughs like you.
This is that's true. It's kind of like watching the Golden Girls live.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Oh, really?
And there's a lot of adult humor, but in a really nice way. Does that make sense?
That sounds awesome.
Well, it's well worth it.
Golden Girls Live might be kind of fun.
Golden Girls Live would be fun. pitching that. You can also check out, and Louise Hayes Park on Friday is Movies in the Park, and they're showing Lady and the Tramp. Speaking of Golden Girls.
That's a golden movie.
So that's at 9 p.m. One of my favorite Disney movies, too. So 9 p.m., bring your kiddos on out. That should be a good time. That's going to be in Louise Hayes Park, like I said. And then on Saturday, it is the UGRA 20th Annual River Cleanup from 8 to 12. So I bet if you still want to get involved, you still can to help clean up our rivers.
Gilbert and I will be doing that.
UGRA. So and then you get a T-shirt. There's prizes to be won. You win a prize if you find the most unusual thing. Roller derby one time we found like a water heater that had been shot up.
Oh, perfect.
And then another year we found half of a Subway sign.
And they found an Xbox thing in one of those when you're swimming through.
I never found the next one. Anyway,
it was ruined.
Get in. Well, I mean, still an unusual prize to be won. It's also Saturday Farmers Market at River Hills Mall, Saturday morning, 8 to 12, for you to get all your locally made and grown produce and goodies. Let's see. You've also got DJ Jamie's second annual summer bash at Riverstar Park from 10. This is going all day, basically, on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 for a good time. So this is free entry event for the entire family going on at Riverstar Park, event park that's right next to the Hill Country Youth Event Center. They'll have 2 covered pavilions. The restrooms will be available, tables and chairs, all for guests. The event will consist of the car show, several different vendors, food trucks, bounce houses, face painting, a 360 photo booth, and so much more. So that sounds like a good time. That is a bash. Go enjoy it.
It's a bash.
Especially because it's free. It's Christmas in July at Off Main Brewing on Saturday, or on Saturday as well. So for you to enjoy 12 to 9, I'm sure they're going to have all kinds of great vendors to shop and also celebrate a new release of a beer over at Off Main Brewing.
All right.
So they'll have holiday-inspired bites and reindeer games to make you feel like it's a lot cooler outside than it really is. Let's see. Much more live music. It's family swim night over at the Kerrville Olympic Pool from 6:30 to 8:30. So come to the Olympic Pool for a special evening of games, food, and swimming. Admission is $2, and it includes a meal ticket. And that is unheard of these days, guys. So get involved with that. That sounds like a great family outing. And then you have our good friend Libby Horton and Kay Noonhofer's doing their Gala Artistique at Kerr Arts and Cultural Center.
I saw a preview of it. It looks really good.
That is 6:30 to 8:30, so you can check out basically their entire catalog.
Yeah.
So that sounds like these ladies are very, very talented and put in a lot of hard work. So go celebrate some young artists. You have Criders going on in West Kerr County. 8 p.m. is the rodeo, dance to follow. Make sure you get out there. This is a hill country institution. And then you have over at the Callow on Sunday is their performance preview party for the new 2023-2024 year. So you can find out what's coming to the Callow. And there will be, that kind of like wraps up the rest of your weekend because a lot of it is live music.
A lot is live music. Maya Walters, our
what's
events,
her top picks?
Our events coordinator, our events guru, our events maven, I should say, has picked the Tuesday nights Nature Nights Bad Illusion as one of her top picks. Wednesday with Woodrow, the bee camp for kids on Wednesday over the Ridge Marketplace, and then. This Vintage Market Day, she's put that on the list as well. Live music by Slade Cleaves on Friday at Arcadia, and then Stacey Foster over Central Provisions and Centerpoint on Saturday.
That is a lovely lineup.
There you go.
Great choices.
Great choices by Maya Walter. All right, listen, here's the deal. We've got Karen Taylor with us here. She's from the West Kerr Chamber of Commerce, and I drive by her facility and I wave at her. I was like, "Hi, Karen." Then I go to Ingram, and but I'm noticing, one of my favorite stops in Ingram is the 323 Bakery.
Yes.
There's Down on the Loop now. There's that new coffee place.
Yes.
Things are happening. What's going on?
There's a lot going on in West Kerr County. We're growing all the time, and you're starting to sense a different vibe in the community. Yeah. Just like everywhere else, we have a lot of live music at different venues. Joanne Marie and Me, Down on the Loop, Bridget's Basket, the Hunt Store, and then Roddy Tree. Lots and lots of live music with good food as well. Good
food. I mean, you're talking about good food. Being the Hunt Store. I haven't been on the Hunt Store yet this year, but
you need to do that.
I know. I went out several times last year. So Hunt Store. I've had Bridget's Basket lunch.
Bridget's Basket is fabulous.
Have you tried the Copper Pot?
I have not tried the Copper Pot.
Oh.
So yeah, and then
it's worth it.
Worth it. Okay, and then I said I've been to 323 and Joanne Marie and Me. I haven't gone to the coffee shop yet, though. That's on my list.
You need to go in.
It's beautiful.
And there's a
It's
tea room
beautiful.
opening.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I just got
Yeah,
this.
on
I got the
27.
Friday. Yeah, I just got the note on that on Friday.
On
So
Highway
very exciting.
27.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Okay. Well, there's another, not in West Kerr, but there's another coffee or tea place opening up on Sidney Baker South.
How exciting!
Right before you get to Medina
Having
Highway.
a tea moment
A tea
here in,
moment, right.
in Kerrville.
Right.
Tea and beer.
Becoming British.
By the
Love
way,
that.
we can call Karen Taylor officially Dr. Taylor.
Nice.
Yes. I call everybody doctor, but she really is a doctor.
Very cool.
Not if-
Doctor of what?
It's a PhD.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that is
my research.
Congratulations.
My research area is instructional leadership.
Instruction.
Wow.
She was in education for a long time. So she's
Very cool.
educating people about West Kerr economics. When
When you
on-
started talking about the educational system, I just started zoning out.
you're like, I don't want to hear about it
You're
anymore.
like, I'm good
Yeah,
on that.
I'm here for fun.
Yeah.
30 some odd years, and yeah, I just zoned out.
Was it in public schools or was it in universities mostly?
It was public and university.
Right.
I taught second grade in South Texas,
Okay.
first grade at Starkey here in
All
Kerrville,
right.
and then I taught fourth in Bandera, and then I became an assistant principal in Bandera.
Okay.
Then I was 16 years full time at Shrine University.
Okay. Right. Now you're here.
I'm here.
And how do you like the juxtaposition between private, helping small businesses and economic development compared to your work in education?
You know, it's a people business.
Yeah.
Both of them are.
Right.
You know, you can't please everybody all the time, but you really try to be a problem solver
Yeah.
in both areas. So I think that my organizational skills have really helped me with the chamber.
Right.
So, and I've really enjoyed being with the chamber. You know, I retired 2 years ago. In fact, this month is my anniversary month of being with the chamber for 2 years.
Wow.
Oh,
Very
congratulations.
good. Now your
Nice.
last event you had, which was the big event, which was at the Inn of the Hills. That was a big event. It was really well attended. You probably had 250, 300 people there easily. Were you there?
You and I sat at the same table.
I know.
You just gave me flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah,
It
we had
was
fun.
good. It was good. We had about 225 people.
Yeah, and you gave out awards. You gave something to Irene on the scene, though, didn't you?
She didn't know.
She didn't know, right?
She did not
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, she did win an award, though.
and
Yeah.
She was a complete surprise.
Complete
to
surprise
her.
for her.
We kept it a secret.
Yeah.
And
That's hard to do with her.
I know.
I was busy working the whole time, but when I heard that they were getting ready to call her name,
Yeah.
I walked into the room, and she's up there just to take pictures. And then all of a sudden, she realizes
That they're talking
the
about
speech
her.
is about her.
Yeah.
And the look on her face.
That's
was
always the best.
priceless.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was well deserved.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I stalk her.
I know. You like to give her a hard time.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Because I have these great lenses, so I'm usually hiding around corners, and I'm like getting photos of her, and she usually catches me, and so I have a bunch of photos of her sticking your tongue out at me. So I do that to Buzzy Hughes too.
That's also a fun one.
Also fun. But I mean, the work that you're doing, like that event said to me that your organization really matters to a lot of people, and that there's some momentum over there that's going on right now.
And we're at the place now where the money we've raised through these events is we're getting ready to give back in a very large way to the community.
Okay.
And one of the things that we're looking at, it's not set in stone yet, but it's just what we've been talking about, is putting more lighting up in Ingram.
Right.
We only have the lights on the bridge.
Right.
And we're talking about going from the bridge towards the Y
Okay.
in Ingram. There just isn't good lighting. It's not good at all.
No, it doesn't make very a
And
friendly sort of environment down there as well.
It does not. And, the aesthetic of Ingram is improving.
Yeah.
And so we want to help that.
Because you have some people that have come in there that have invested and purchased some land and done some stuff. There was one demolition of an old building, and there's some renovations of some buildings as well that are happening all the time.
Well, the log
The log
building
cabin
is
was taken
gone.
down, right?
It was gone, but so has that other that I think it's 3,500 square feet next to down on the loop. That
Yeah.
It was that ugly brown color.
Right.
It's rubble. It's gone.
Oh, really? Interesting.
It's completely
I'll
gone.
have to go over
now.
there and look at that today. So I'm on my way over there. So the positive stuff that's happening, though, what do you think it's going to look like in the next 18 months to 2 years? What do you have? What is your sense of things?
Well, I can only hope it's going to get better and better. I think there are a lot of people that are truly invested in the community.
But do people get, sometimes, we hear this too, like, and I know some of the investments from people from out of state, I don't want to say the C word, that there might be some of that investment happening. But, I mean, what do you...
I think it's easy to say that, that's to draw that inference.
Right. I mean, but there is some of that going on, right? There's some outside investment that's happening, and or people are discovering, hey, I'm going to invest in this little community.
That's what we hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just there's a lot of things going on. A lot of buildings have been bought, but we don't really know what's going to happen to them yet.
Right. Let me ask you a difficult question. Last week, County Judge Rob Kelly said that City of Ingram is basically disincorporated. Does that change the way things work for you, or is it that's just no big deal? We're going to continue moving on if that happens.
We just keep going.
Keep going, because you have a lot of momentum already, and that's not going to change the way the businesses are run, basically, at this point. Where do you see? What has been the biggest surprise for you in this job?
Well, the quietness of the office, for one thing. I'm used to students being in my office all the time.
Just driving you crazy. Yeah, right.
But that's been different because it's just me.
Yeah, right.
And but
you don't even have an assistant or anything? It's just you, huh?
It's just me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a completely different.
You've also had to get
vibe.
Yeah, you've had to get into board development probably too, and work with a board. And how's that been?
It's been great. We have a great board.
And
so
are you constantly looking for new members, or how do you? And what does it cost to join? Yeah.
I'm working on it. When I came 2 years ago, we had 150, 160 members.
Yeah.
Now we have about 245.
Wow,
That's great.
Nice.
So
Right.
I've been
doubled it.
Yeah, I've been working on it really hard.
And you don't have to because no one really knows where does West Kerr begin and where does it. Well, we know where it ends.
Right.
But I mean, you don't have to really be west of what?
We don't necessarily have to be in West Kerr County to be part of the chamber.
No.
No.
You just in our chamber, any chamber, you can decide to join because you see benefit in being able to talk to that area.
Right.
And Kerrville Chamber and West Kerr County Chamber, we share the same members, a lot of the same members. And for an individual or a nonprofit, it's $125 a year, and for business, it's $225 a year. And I've just started an incentive to grow membership that if you're a member and you get someone else to join, then your name goes into the hat. And at our annual banquet next year in March, we'll draw from the hat, and you have an opportunity to get a free membership for a year.
Nice.
The
Wow.
more people you get to join, the more times your name is in the hat.
Very cool. Well, it's a great way to incentivize
Andrew,
that.
get to work.
Actually, we just discussed that about joining the West Kerr
Yeah, you should.
Chamber because our friend Tom Fox is a member there, and we know we have plenty of clients in
Right.
the western part of the county that
Right.
are involved
One of
with
the
you guys
things
over there.
One of the things I'm really working on is promoting our members, and that's free. It's on Facebook. It's email blasts.
Right.
So promotion is a big thing.
Yeah. And then there's a lot to promote. A lot of things going on.
There's a lot of stuff.
going on.
It's a beautiful part of the county.
My career here in the Hill Country started out there in the west part of the county at the Wells Fargo in Ingram. That's where I started here when I was working in Kerr County many years ago. So the first chamber mixer I was ever exposed to or ever went to was right out there in the bank branch. So that was many years ago. It was about 10 years ago. So lots changed since then. But I have a soft spot in my heart.
Why did you want to do this? Why did you want to work after you retired? You're supposed to be retired.
I know.
It's fun.
It's fun, and I knew I was going to do something.
Yeah.
Because I just can't do nothing.
Right.
There's just so much yard work and so much stuff you can do in the house
Yeah.
and stuff. No, I just knew I wanted to stay busy, and this suits me very well.
What you're telling us is that you have ADHD, don't you?
I do. I really do. I used to take medication.
Yeah, there you go. See, we outed you. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad people can admit that. That
I
makes me happy.
think you should normalize
I
it.
was going to say, I think that's a pretty
I think
common
there's a lot more
thing,
people
'cause I feel like
neurodivergent
that
out
too.
there than they realize.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm
Oh,
also
yeah, for sure.
What do you? Wait. Do it again. What do you?
I broke something.
before I break something, these two guys over here have ADHD.
Slide over a little bit, Andrew. So Gilbert doesn't kill.
Yeah,
kill
doesn't
my-
Doesn't break your
destroy
monitor.
the studio.
Yeah, my God.
Break your stuff over here.
Yeah, well, I'm also dyslexic, so
Wow.
I just work
How'd you get a
on-
PhD done then? A lot of work, huh? I mean, that's
well,
incredible.
and
It was those
I
three
a-
things Wendy was talking about.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I learned to remediate myself a long time ago, but
Yeah.
I also, when I started my teaching career, became a reading specialist because I didn't want any child to go through school
What
the
you
way
did.
and
Yeah.
experience what I
Mm.
did, because back then it was just like she's slow.
Yeah.
She's just a slow learner.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure my mom is dyslexic, and she never got diagnosed because it just wasn't a thing then.
Yeah,
So
And
it's
so-
important that you saw a need and you saw a way how to fix it.
I tried.
That's a great story.
It is a great story. It's a wonderful story.
Makes you passionate about what
it
you
does because
what
you
you're
know then
doing.
you kind of the old saying of paying it forward to those other kids that need that help, because a lot of times like parents don't even know how to address it.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
usually reading aloud to your child is helpful, but most parents just don't have the time for it, or they're
Well, and
wiped
if your
out.
brain doesn't work that way, it's
Yeah.
hard to know
Right.
how to talk or how to fix it because you only understand how your brain works and you don't have that issue.
Right. No, my brain is just all over the place.
No way, Jose.
90% of the time.
Not
So,
you.
All right.
You
So.
know, we have a lot of things coming up in West Kerr County.
Okay, tell us
too.
about 'em.
Well, I brought cheat sheets
Okay.
because I didn't want to forget.
Is there going to be any kind of human sacrifice at the Stonehenge
Stop it.
for the eclipse?
Leave Sarah.
Well,
Leave
no,
that place
they're
alone.
Not. I don't think so.
How are you getting ready for the eclipse? By the way, are you excited about it? Because it's going to go, basically, home base at Ingram High School.
You know, I know this podcast network that did an episode with Miss Karen Taylor
Yeah,
about the preparations for the eclipse.
Now it's your time to share it here too.
Well, we have the Eclipse glasses for sale at the office. They're only $2 a
Okay.
pair. We also have Eclipse T-shirts that are so cool that
They
Mark
are.
Jackson designed for us. It says I was there.
Okay.
And they're really cute.
Nice.
They're good looking. But we have a lot of celebrations coming up.
Okay.
Do you know Moore's Home Furnishing in August will have been in business 131
That's
years.
amazing.
It is
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're having a breakfast before business with them on August the 11th. It's
Okay.
a Friday at 8:30 a.m. And they'll have a continental breakfast, a free gift for everybody who attends.
That's at their facility.
It's at Moore's Home Furnishing. And then there's anniversary drawings with up to $13,000 in prizes. And if you're a chamber member, you get to register to win a $500 Moore's gift certificate.
How exciting.
And so that's at 120 Harbor Road. But then A+1 Transmission is having their 45 years in business celebration.
Oh, wow.
On August the 8th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. They'll have sausage links, chips, drinks. They're at 117 Gasoline Alley. And it's for the whole family. It's going to have family celebration. Exit 505 band is going to be playing.
Always good.
Always. And they'll have a water slide. They'll have some gift certificates they're going to be giving away.
the water slide alone is worth
Wait, a
it.
minute, where's this at? What?
It's at A1 transmission.
They're gonna have a water
A+1.
slide? Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, they have the whole block area
yeah.
that they can just block off.
Good
Interesting.
for them.
So
All right.
It's going to be a big
That's gonna be a-
family
that's gonna be a
event.
lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I have a school supply drive going on
Okay.
for West Kerr County students. That includes Ingram, Hunt, and Divide.
Okay.
Awesome.
And we have drop-off boxes, donation boxes at A+1 Transmissions, the Beauty Factory, Tri-County Roofing and Remodeling, Alpha Granite here in Kerrville, One Stop Printing, SoFast Printing, Sunflower Bank in Kerrville, Security State Bank in Ingram, City Hall in Ingram, and 323 Bakery.
All right.
And also we have 18 new teachers in West Kerr County, and I'm doing new teacher bags
Oh,
for
good.
them. So we're taking donations for that. And yeah, and then our mixer for July is the 27th at Gravity Check Saloon, right
Nice.
outside on Bandera Highway. It's $5 at the door unless you bring a door prize. You don't have to be a member to attend, but come as a guest, and you'll want to join.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that water slide thing.
Yeah, the
Leslie.
water slide thing's gonna be a lot of fun.
We're gonna have to get A1 Transmission on the show to basically explain themselves on how they're gonna do this, because I want to know if it's gonna be good. We're gonna have to live stream.
Oh, you know
that.
it's gonna be good.
Would you go down it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Just making
I'm a
sure.
sucker for a water slide.
Oh my gosh! All right, Karen Taylor, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you,
Always
Karen.
happy to
I think
get
it's
you on the
great.
show.
West Kerr gets a little coverage.
I like
all
to
the
bug
things
you
that
a
are going
lot
on.
about it, and like, come on the show, Karen. Come on the show,
And she says, "You're ADHD." No,
you're,
thank you.
you're too rambunctious for me to deal with. So
I'm always glad to come.
always glad to come. All right, you two, what do you got going on? What's going on with you guys?
Oh, the market was good last week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
The market was really good. The NASDAQ, the technology index that a lot of people follow, is up 35% for the year to date.
Okay.
Through Friday anyway. And I don't know that will continue the rest of the year, so I don't think we can count on 70% returns for the full year, but 35 is pretty good.
Right.
We'll take that.
It feels like, inflation's going down, but there's still
Slowly.
like, there's still it feels like there's still pressures though.
Yeah.
Like wage and salaries. We're seeing that here.
Absolutely.
Let me read our disclosure, and then
Okay.
I got a nice article this morning. We'll talk about that. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Next Financial Group, member FINRA, SIPC, Texas Hill Country Advisors, not an affiliate of Next. This material is not intended as an offer or solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security or other financial instrument. Past performance does not guarantee future performance. All the views expressed are those of Andrew Gay, Gilbert, Paiz, and Texas Hill Country Advisors, and not those of Next Financial Group. The S&P 500 is a market cap weighted index composed of common stocks of 500 leading companies and leading industries of the U.S. economy, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average is a price weighted index of 30 actively traded blue chip stocks. Yeah, so we had a good week in the stock market. Last week we got the latest inflation number too. That came in at 3%, which is a lot closer to 2%, which is the Federal Reserve's target of trying to get. That's the number, the magic number they're trying to get inflation down to. So we've come a long way from the 9.1% peak that we saw last summer, from that same headline inflation number. But I wanted to mention this because this was an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal. This is a survey of I don't have the exact number of economists, but this is all the economists that they have on tap. Okay, so these are narratives that and percentages of economists who believe that these economic scenarios or narratives will occur in the coming year, and their biggest reason for either being optimistic or pessimistic about the coming year in the economy. Okay, so number one was inflation continuing to slow. So nearly 60% of economists out there think that is an optimistic outlook, and that almost 60% of them agree, economists that are out there watching the economy and trying to keep a pulse on things, think that this is a likely scenario. So that's the leading narrative that economists believe will take hold over the next year. And it's an optimistic one, and that's not really a surprise because most of the other stuff that we talk about, the higher interest rates, some of the cracks or strength in the current economic environment is all due to inflation pressures. So that's kind of not a surprise there. But more than likely, that's probably what I would go with too. That's probably going to be the leading narrative over the next year because everything else is kind of a byproduct of that. So this one, the Fed will hold or raise interest rates higher than previously expected. So about 28% of economists think that is maybe the more dominant narrative over the next year, and that would be a pessimistic one. So that would not be that great of an outlook. Now, we've been talking about that as well because, once again, why are interest rates higher currently, and why are there people that think that they're going to remain higher? It's all because of inflation, right? Mm-hmm. So the Fed's raised those up, kept them there, and think that they're going to keep them there for the foreseeable future. And possibly, just checked this morning, there's like a 60% chance by the end of the year that we're going to be almost 0.5% higher than where we are currently right now, which means that the Fed's probably going to raise interest rates at least one more time before the end of the year. Last one I'll mention, consumers will still will keep spending. That is about 22% of economists think that that's a likely narrative over the next year, and that is a positive one. So consumers continuing to spend is positive because that means more economic activity. Think about the economic impact that we have here, like hot tax, benefits to the chamber, all our local economy here. If people continue to spend money and we're out doing things, economic activity is overall good.
Yeah, especially if they raise sales tax. I want visitors to pay that.
That's right. The more consumption, right? So the more we're out doing stuff, the more economic activity is there, the more money that's spread around and changes hands. And so, anyway, so those are the dominating headlines. Higher interest rates for longer. What the consumer's doing. The labor market is right underneath that. I didn't mention that, but that's the next one. But all of those are kind of byproducts of what's really happening on the front line of the economy, and that's really higher inflation.
Right.
But we're getting close. The Fed's getting really, really close. So I think the good week in the market that we had in the stock market last week is an indicator because the stock market looks so far out in advance. It's like 6 to 12 months in advance of what's actually happening. It's trying to price in right now. So those are good signs currently. It doesn't mean that we might not have a bumpy back half of the year because that might be the case too if we go into kind of a slowdown mode and consumers stop spending as much, right? Inflation maybe kicks back up a little more or more often over the next 6 months or so before the end of the year than we thought previous. But that could give you some turbulence, but it doesn't mean that we're not going in the right direction.
By the way, Tesla's going to announce its earnings soon here, and they're probably going to be profitable. And here's my take on it: the minute that dude started messing with Twitter, spent less time on Tesla, they took off. They're finally building stuff. They're building their truck now here in Texas. And
Cybertruck. You see pictures of that thing?
Yeah, it's crazy looking.
It's like a spaceship.
Yeah, and so
wheels.
But they're leading the way, and actually they're going to end up dominating. What's interesting about Tesla is they're going to end up dominating the market in the supercharger area. That's where they're going to be dominant at, and as well. The other thing that is a trend that I'm watching here very closely because I think it's starting to. I've heard some rumblings about it here in Texas. Is the property is homeowners insurance, and as we had that big hail event, people were like going to their my roof's damaged and my cars are damaged, and in Florida, AAA bailed out of Florida for most part in writing homeowners insurance policies. This is on top of farmers leaving there as well, and there's an excess out of California as well. So extreme weather is also having impact on the economy. Because how do you live in Florida on the coast and not have homeowners insurance when there's a potential for
a disaster?
3 disasters? What's it gonna look like?
We talked about that last week. If you remember, right before I left for vacation, that was one of the things we were discussing. I think last Monday was. Yeah. The cost of what those insurance companies are insuring is costing more because of inflation. So it's like, and now that there's other things that are priced into the mix for them that are throwing off their predictability, their actuary tables that they use to price some of that stuff. So it's causing them to shut down pieces of exposure of their business, of their lines of business that they're saying, hey, this is not viable. We're overextended on our risk. And as an insurance company, you probably want to do some risk management since that's your business,
right?
And be mindful of that.
But frankly, too, if you choose to live in Florida, you should pay more for your homeowner's insurance because somebody in Sioux Falls should not be subsidizing your premiums to cover your potential for wind damage and tornadoes and hail and hurricanes. They shouldn't be paying for that. You should be paying for it. It's the same thing here in Texas. If you live along the Gulf Coast, I think it's within 2 counties of the Gulf Coast, your premiums for homeowners insurance are automatically double pretty much than what everybody else in the state pays because you have a more likely chance of suffering a serious tornado, wind, hurricane, hail event than somebody else that lives in maybe El Paso County.
Right.
So one thing's for sure, it's just going to cost everybody more the more that these natural disasters keep cropping up, whether it's in Florida or California or New York State or in the Northeast. It's just going to cost everybody more because insurance company is going to raise premiums across the board for everybody to compensate.
Right. I heard a suggestion the other day that that there's no way that private insurance will be able to continually underwrite the three biggest states, California, Florida, and Texas, when it comes to, I mean, you look at Texas, we got our fair share of disasters here between tornadoes in the north, and the Panhandle, I mean, this ice event, I'm sure, did a lot of damage to a lot of people's properties. And so, we have all this extreme weather now, and what does that look like for the future? Who's gonna help us with this? Who's gonna help rebuild?
Nobody's going to help us. We're all going to have to pay for it ourselves because I don't think any of us really wants the federal government involved in any of that because they're just going to make it worse.
Yeah. But what does that look like though as far as payments though?
Well, it's just going to increase. It's going to cost everybody more across the board. You're just going to have to pay, and everybody that makes a claim is just going to have to pay more. And insurance companies, they're highly regulated businesses.
Right.
They can make a profit, but they have to cover their expenses first.
Right.
And when they go through state insurance boards to raise their rates and their premiums, it's very easy for them to make a justification. They show all their losses. They show what their costs are. They talk about inflation and how that's having an effect on everybody. Mm-hmm. They can make a profit. They just have to explain why they're going to do that and raise premiums. And that's what they'll do. They'll make more money. It's fine. And then of course wherever you've got a situation where you have an insurance company that leaves an area, there will be at some point some other insurance company come in and pick up all those ratepayers. But guess what? It's going to cost you more.
Right.
Because they're going to come in and do what that other insurance company didn't want to do.
There's always somebody who's like, I'll take the risk on that.
Yeah, there will always
Capitalism
be somebody.
network.
Yes,
I'll take a risk on Houston.
Seriously.
Yes. So it's just going to cost everybody more, and therefore, everybody's homeowners insurance premium is just going to go higher.
Right.
And you better compensate for that or put that in your budget because if you haven't yet, it's coming.
In one instance, I saw that it was higher than the mortgages. The mortgage payments were nothing compared to their insurance premiums. So it's an interesting part of what we're doing here as well. What else you guys got for us? We have like 3 minutes left.
Well, earnings you mentioned earlier for Tesla.
300 companies this week.
Yes,
are going to
there's
report.
a lot of earnings season just started last week. The big banks came out last week with their earnings, which were pretty good. The rest of this week and next week, we're going to have more earnings reports. And for the most part, they seem to be in line with what expectations are. So that's good because I think part of it is just that the consumer's still spending because they still have jobs. But if any of that gets weak in the later part of the summer or into the fall, well, we might see things slow down a little bit.
Right. Good stuff as always. What do you guys got planned for the rest of the week? Anything big?
My little girl's having dental surgery tomorrow, so I'm going to be in San Antonio with my little girl and her
that sucks.
and my wife. Yep.
I'm sorry.
She's got to take 2 teeth out.
Good for her for being brave.
Wow.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sure to take videos of her when she comes out of anesthesia because I hear that they say crazy things.
Oh my
Sometimes they
gosh,
do.
yeah.
Sometimes that's
they do.
worth it.
Sometimes they're just passed out. So there you
yeah.
go. All right, Leslie Jones, what did you learn today?
I learned that I'm gonna try not to burst into flames this week. It's very hot. I was gonna tell Karen something, and maybe she already knows, but since you have like Moore's Home Furnishing turning
131 years.
And they might already have this, but the Texas Historical Commission has a designation they give out to businesses that have been family owned for at least 50 years or more. And all that you have to do is apply. That's it.
Really?
So they might already have it, but it's worth looking into on the registry. And then to know that A+ is 5 years away from that could already be on. And there's probably some other businesses in the area.
Do you know we have a lot of 100 years, so
Yeah.
Kreider's,
Yeah.
the Vista camps,
Yeah.
Camp Stewart, Heart of the Hills. There are so many places celebrating 100 years already.
And I know
Schreiner
for
University
exactly.
this year.
And I think the only on the THC one, I think it was just as long as it was owned by the same family for at least 50 years. But it's not very I know Herring Printing just recently got it. I had told Doug about it at Gibson's.
They got it.
So Gibson's applied for it, and it's not very strenuous. And something to look for because it's a nice little thing to hang your hat on, especially as a chamber.
Well, and our chamber, next year will be 45 years.
So
Wow.
you put it on your little calendar too. 5 more years, it could be yours. So
Yeah.
something I wanted to share.
Good stuff. Karen, what did you learn today?
I learned that this is a very nice group, and I don't need to be afraid of you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Andrew, what did you learn today?
That we want to be more involved with the West Kerr Chamber.
Very
Also, shameless plug, leadership Kerr County applications for the Kerr Area Chamber of Commerce here is open, and the deadline is August 1st. So get your applications in if you're interested in joining class number 38.
All right. Gilbert, what did you learn today?
You know, brown people like me can still get sunburn, like I said last week, and
Yes.
I'm still peeling
You're
from
still
my
peeling.
vacation 2 weeks ago.
You've learned a lesson.
Yes, don't assume that just because you're brownie.
Wear
your
sunscreen.
sunscreen.
Yeah, wear sunscreen, will you?
Great. Tomorrow we have a crazy show. Tomorrow, by the way, we've got a hypnotist coming on the show.
Oh.
Amy Goodyear will be here, and I got another guest coming on too. But it'll be a surprise, so it'll be fun. And Julie Davis will be here.
Julie Davis will be here.
Also, Andrew Gay will be with us, and Wendy Jones. So we'll see you guys all again tomorrow.
You know what? I did hear one thing that we didn't talk about on the show.
What's that?
You got peed on this morning.
Oh, I did get peed on this morning. Yes, I did. As Joe Herring said,
He got blessed by the Herring's puppy this morning.
A true
Oh, by a
editor
puppy.
gets peed on in the morning. First thing
You
in the
left
morning.
out like what it was that peed on you.
Well, it makes a better lead-in.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
she was sitting on my lap, and she just decided
Just
to
peed
let
on
herself go.
You have that effect on a lot of females, I guess.
I do. A lot of people. So I'm hearing that they're like well, Karen Taylor's afraid of me, so that's good to know.
She might not come back now.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Stay cool. See you guys again tomorrow.
Don't sit and lose.